Hello folks, this is Classic Boxing and MMA with another classic vintage video. Hello, I'm talking about today my stablemate. Let me close that damn door, got a bright spot coming in. My stablemate, Stipe Miocic, gets the title back from Daniel Cormier in a 4-round bruising, tough fight. One of the best heavyweight fights that I've seen, and one of the first times that I've seen a heavyweight go to the body like that. Why do I call Stipe my stablemate? Because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and Stipe's trainer, Marcus Marinelli, trained me as well. I was Marcus's student back in the 90s when he was teaching shoot fighting, which is a hybrid of catch wrestling with some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in it and boxing and kicking. That was the first art in mixed martial arts in America. Ken Shamrock was a practitioner of that art. Bass Rutten was a practitioner of that art. Just about all the first guys who were involved in MMA, as you called it, we called it no holds barred then, was a practitioner of shoot fighting or catch wrestling. I trained for 3 years with Marcus Marinelli. And when I left later on was when Stipe came around. When Cormier knocked Stipe out in the first fight the way he did, I couldn't believe it. I don't know Stipe personally, and I haven't had much contact with Marcus since I was 45, since I had my stroke. I don't even know we know I had a stroke. But I'm going to contact him and congratulate Stipe and talk to Marcus, and I'm going to tell Stipe what he must do for the rubber match. Yeah, you know it's going to be a rubber match. Ain't no way in hell Daniel Cormier is going to go out like that. He says he's thinking about retiring, but that's because he's emotional. But you know Daniel is not going to go out like that. He's going to want to come back and get revenge and get that heavyweight title back. But I was known as a good boxer when I went to Marcus's gym. I was 30 years old, and I showed that I was a good boxer. I had boxing matches that showed Marcus and the rest that I was a hell of a boxer. And I had tough men, and I was the only one of the tough men that was showing professional boxing skills. The last fight I had with a guy named James Ledbetter, I was defeated because I tore my shoulder out. And we went to the finals, and my shoulder was sitting out. And I was asked that I want to quit before the fight, that I want to quit, you know. But no, I went in anyway. And the guy saw my shoulder, and he was a guy who used lateral movement, and he just stayed on my right side, my right hand, which he normally wouldn't have done. But since my shoulder was popped out, he knew I couldn't throw the right, and I couldn't. But I finished the fight, and I lost by decision in the final. Then when I went to Cuyahoga Falls, I live in Cleveland, Ohio, Cuyahoga County, and I went to Cuyahoga Falls to fight him again. He saw me, and he bowed out because he knew I could take him. Anyway, I'm very proud of Stipe Miocic. I'm very proud of Strong Style Gym. I'm very proud of his trainers, Marcus Marinelli and the other trainers, and I hope that he reigns as long as he wants. But I would like to see him leave by the time he's 40 years old or maybe even 38. I'd like to see him fight one more year and then leave. Hold on here. I got the TV hooked up to a computer, so when I don't use it, it goes dark. Stipe Miocic is the greatest heavyweight of all times in UFC. And I'm not just saying this because he's my stablemate. He's proven it with 3 straight UFC heavyweight defenses and by taking the title back from a guy as great as Daniel Cormier, who's up in the top 3 or 4 or 5 of heavyweight greats, period, in UFC. Daniel Cormier is a great wrestler. He was in Olympic standout, I think. He's great in high school, and I think he was great in college. He's a great wrestler, and he's a hell of a puncher. But Stipe Miocic is a better boxer, though I'm going to tell him to do this. Jab, double jab, triple jab even if you have to. And then release that right hand, and you'll catch him every time. There are other things that if I could get a hold of Miocic, I would teach him to do when he fights Daniel again. He's going to fight Daniel again. And if Cain Velasquez has not retired, he's going to fight him too, I believe. Because if he doesn't fight Cormier again, then I'm sure that Cain is going to want to take up the mantle. Stipe Miocic is a Cleveland kind of guy. That's how Cleveland kind of guys are. That's why I don't have a lot of people. A lot of people are not into my YouTube channel because I'm not the greatest talker. We Cleveland guys are not the greatest talkers, but we're ass kickers. I had got so rough. Well, first I was a good boxer. I wasn't such a good grappler because I had never grappled. And then when YouTube came out and I know you guys are gonna say, "Oh, that guy is nothing." But what's that guy's name? Everybody say anyway, I saw a guy doing catch wrestling on YouTube. I said, well, those are the moves that Marcus was trying to show me. And then when I saw it visually, I got good because it became, they say it has to become second nature in your body, in your muscles. Yeah, that's true. But also, it must also register in your mind. And when I saw it on YouTube, it registered in my mind, and immediately it registered in my body. And Marcus used to teach at Tracy's Karate. Here's another guy you're gonna say was sorry, Bart Vale. But they call Bart Vale a fake martial artist. But Bart Vale, even though a lot of his previous matches in Japan were fake, he did have some real no holds barred, if you want to call it, matches. And he did win one, even though he was 60 pounds or 40 pounds heavier than the guy he beat. And he was competitive in the other two, except for when against, what the fuck this guy's name is with the mustache like Magnum in the early UFCs. But anyway, Bart Vale had teachers, and I wasn't taught by Bart. I was taught by some people that he taught, and that the other guy who taught him, the Japanese guy, taught. And I learned legitimate catch wrestling. As a matter of fact, I got so good that at age 44, I went to Marcus's Strong Style Gym, and I did very well with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. One of them a black belt, and we were doing the best 2 out of 3, and I tapped him in the first 30 seconds. Because I took him down, he tried to take me down. I took him down. He got me in the guard, and I did something that I call a reverse neck breaker, which is put the blade of my forearm against his neck in like a figure 4, like a rear naked choke, but it's not a rear naked choke. It's against the man's neck. And I turned his head to the side and put my body weight on his neck. He tapped instantly, or his neck would have broke. And I tapped other Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts quickly. And he wanted to go, in the second one, we went, and I just continued the saddle, which you guys in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu call the mount, but we don't call it the mount. In catch wrestling, we call it the saddle. And I kept him in the saddle. And for the majority of the time, he reversed it for a second, and then I reversed it immediately again, and was on top. So he wanted to go a third time. By then I was exhausted, and he got me in omoplata. But I had already won because I won the best first 2 out of 3. But when I got tired, he got me. I was like 300 pounds. I was a power lifter at that time. He was 6'7", and he was 25 years old. And he was the best guy out there. He was teaching guys. Well, he wasn't the best guy out there, but he was one of the best students, and I got him quickly. Another guy who was in, this guy was only a middleweight though. He had got me in a shoulder lock, and I reversed it on him, and I got him, not reversed it, but I got on top, and I got him in an ankle lock, the kind that attacks the knee, and he tapped. But anyway, I'm gonna go up there again and see if I can. I'm gonna take my son up there, but I'm gonna teach him some things before I take him up there and get his weight down. Marcus wanted me to be one of the people who trained people up there in boxing, but I had got a job at a prison to take care of my handicapped son and my family. I know he would have paid me, but it's better to have a job you know is going to be there than a job that may or may not be there. Anyway, congratulations to Stipe Miocic, and I hope he remains champion for a long time. And I'm glad he beat Daniel Cormier, though I'm a Cormier fan, but Stipe is my favorite UFC fighter. He fights something like me. When I see him fight, I see myself. Except for when I went up to the gym, I did not have a wrestling pedigree like he had. I had to learn. It took me till I was in my 40s to really get it down. But once I got it down, I became dangerous. It was all kind of wrestlers, AAU champion wrestlers who I trained with, and I defeated them. They're in the gym, but we were really going at it. My second trainer was another guy who trained with Marcus named John Watts. I learned a lot from him. Also, I want to say I trained with Big Dan Bobish. Some of you may know him. He came in second in UFC way back in the 90s. I was his training partner. I didn't know a damn thing about wrestling at all. He was 350 pounds of muscle, no fat. He had less fat than me. And he'd be on top of me, and I'd be like, oh, damn, getting claustrophobic. I had to fight through all that to become a decent or a good catch wrestler. I got to the point where I could take him down some, too. I even tapped him once with an Achilles hook. That's because he was trying out something different. But I got so good when I got in my 40s, I believe I would have tapped him if we would have wrestled again. But then I had a stroke when I was 45, and I put an end to all that. So I don't know if I can still train, but I'm going to try. Stipe Miocic boxes somewhat like me, except for he don't use the jab like he should. I want to go up there and teach him that jab. Because next time he fights Daniel, he's going to need it. I'm quite sure his people are going to teach him a defense against that liver shot, which is just put your elbows in the way. Put your elbow in the way. But that'll stop Stipe half the time, but it won't stop him the other half of the time. Teach Stipe the jab, a straight jab to the body. Okay, y'all. I just wanted to say that I'm going to start reporting on MMA more. Peace and have a good day.